Yael Shakal is a senior U.S. advocate at Refugees International, focusing on asylum as well as the rights of refugees. Yael, thank you for being with us.
Thanks so much for having me.
The Secretary for Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas, he did the rounds on cable news Thursday, had a fairly consistent message about why and how mass deportations were taking place on the southern border. Here's part of it.
This country and the world is in the midst of a pandemic. We are exercising that authority, as we are required to do, to protect the health and well-being of the migrants themselves, our personnel, local communities, and the American public.
So he's talking about the use of Title 42, a Trump-era public health order. It was controversial when it was enacted, and last week a federal court ruled it did not authorize mass expulsions. That ruling should actually take effect, I think, in about 4 days from now. That statement from the Secretary is misleading and seems to be deliberately so.
That's right. And what the court really found is what many people in the advocacy community have been saying, and even public health experts have been saying, is two things. One, that the expulsion power that the administration is using, invoking this public health statute, does not really give the administration the power to expel. It may give the administration the power to quarantine or to take some mitigating measures at the border, to test people, to vaccinate, but it doesn't let the administration expel people en masse. And the other thing that the court said was that there are other public health measures that can be taken to sort of process people in the border in a way that would actually uphold our other obligations under our own law, under international law, international refugee law, and our own laws to refugees that require that when people come seeking protection at the border, you accord them a chance to ask for asylum and to process them.
And we heard from the White House on Thursday what they say is, I guess, an official change in border control. Here we go, listen to this.
I can also convey to you that the Secretary also conveyed to civil rights leaders earlier this morning that we would no longer be using horses in Del Rio. So that is something, a policy change that has been made in response.
The horses aren't the problem.
No, and so the issue is that the Customs and Border Protection, the Border Patrol, historically this has been a sort of pattern of egregious treatment of people seeking asylum at the border. This is not the first time, and that's the use of sort of a horsewhip and horses to sort of corral migrants is not. It's certainly a problem and certainly horrifying, but it's not the only tool that the Border Patrol uses and that has sort of been used. There's not a lot of oversight over the Border Patrol in terms of how they treat migrants, and especially asylum seekers. There's been historically a pattern of when people come to the border to ask for asylum, there's this, line, oh, we don't give asylum anymore, or you couldn't possibly be an asylum seeker given the country that you're coming from, or, you're basically not really believing and not really channeling asylum seekers into the, asylum seeking process that we have under our laws. And that, the detention standards in CBP custody have been a problem, long-standing problem.
Well, after just 2 months in the job, the U.S. Special Envoy to Haiti has resigned in outrage over the way the Biden administration has dealt with this crisis. Here's part of the resignation. I will not be associated with the United States' inhumane, counterproductive decision to deport thousands of Haitian refugees and illegal immigrants to Haiti, a country where American officials are confined to secure compounds because of the danger posed by armed gangs in control of daily life. Just to be clear, the Haitians applying for asylum really haven't broken any law. They have every right under international law to do what they're doing. If they cross the border illegally, it's a misdemeanor. And this seems to be an especially harsh way to deal with one particular group of people, of asylum seekers. Does this eventually become sort of mainstream policy, if you like?
Well, what we've seen historically with Haitians is that they've sort of been the group that attracts a certain policy, or attracts sort of the harshest or most extreme policy that then kind of gets generalized to another group. That happened in the 1980s when Haitians were sort of the first group to be intercepted on the high seas and sent back to Haiti without screenings, sent to Guantanamo, detained in large numbers, and those were some policies that were sort of then became sort of what we used for other immigrant groups. and thinking about how this incident is replicating past incidents. And in the 1980s and the 1990s, there were legal cases going through the courts, especially in the early 1980s, saying this was discriminatory treatment, particularly of Haitians, and that's the sort of pattern that I think we're starting to see again.
Yeah, well, thanks so much for being with us. We really appreciate it.
Sure, thank you.